the recording. Will be recorded live. We encourage you to use the live chat function. Barb is listening to or is watching the chat for us. The chats will be monitored by Barb. Okay. Barb will be monitoring the chats. Unfortunately, she can't hear me, so I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, okay. And the recording will be uploaded to your YouTube channel within 24 to 48 hours. Okay? My name is Karen Laboucaine. I'm one of the counselors with Northern Lakes College. I'm stationed out of Peace River. Barb DeRocher is also one of our counselors. She's my friend and peer and co-worker, and she's stationed out of Slave Lake. So here we go. Today's Take 10 is addiction awareness and supports. I found this picture of a brain. It has dopamine and serotonin pathways. The functions of the dopamine is, as you can see, it's the blue, and it's a chemical in the brain. So we might refer back to that as we're going along. Okay? Dopamine is an important brain chemical that influences our mood and feelings of reward and motivation. Dopamine is released when your brain is expecting a reward. When you come to associate a certain activity with pleasure or in just anticipating the activity can raise your dopamine. The dopamine is sent to your frontal cortex. As you saw in the brain picture, it's the front part of your brain. And this section of your brain is where your memory is, your spoken language, and your motivation. An addiction. An addiction is an urge to do something that is hard to control or to stop. According to Random House College Dictionary, I found addiction is the state of being addicted, especially to a habit-forming drug or activity. I put in or activity to such an extent that cessation causes severe trauma. Like when you stop it, it can cause severe trauma. Addiction has an actual physical effect on the brain. When a person is addicted, the brain receptors become overwhelmed. The brain responds by producing less dopamine or eliminating dopamine receptors. An adaptation is similar to turning down the volume on a loudspeaker when the noise becomes too loud. When there's too much, you want to turn it down. A person can become addicted to almost anything. However, when we talk about addiction these days, we're talking mostly about cigarettes, drugs, alcohol, and gambling. Today, though, many people are becoming addicted to things like the internet, their phones, exercise, or even shopping. People have too much time on their hands sometimes, I think. Okay. These are the 4 stages of addiction. Experimentation is when you're just trying it out. You're just trying something out, like you go out with friends maybe and have a few drinks, and you start to feel good about it, and it feels kind of good, right? Barb put in food as an addiction as well. Yes. So you're just experimenting with it, just trying it out. No big deal. And then you get into regular use and abuse. You found that when you first tried it, you felt pretty good. So you're doing it a little more often, and sometimes you're getting to the point where you're doing it way too often, or you're abusing it. And then the 3rd stage is dependency and tolerance. You get to the point where you're getting dependent on it, and your tolerance level gets higher, so that you need more and more of it to get the same effect that you had initially. So you build up your tolerance. And then the 4th stage is addiction. You're dependent on it. It's hard to stop, even if you. Sometimes really severe addictions, people lose their families, they lose their homes, they lose their jobs. So it can be very serious, as we all pretty well know that. Some of the causes of addiction are stress. People are really stressed these days with COVID and the isolation and all that involved in there. So you get stressed, and sometimes you'll think, well, maybe I'll have a drink, or maybe I'll try, a Coke or something to help me ease the stress. So stress can cause an addiction. Peer pressure. If you're hanging out with people and they're all doing it and you want to fit in, sometimes you'll break down and you will do it. And it's tough, like you said, but like I said, when everybody's doing it and you don't want to be left out. So peer pressure can be difficult sometimes. And abuse. If someone's been physically abused, sexually abused, emotionally abused, the pain sometimes is real. It's always bad. The pain is always there. So sometimes they'll use a substance of some sort to help them make them feel better, and that can cause it. Also, early exposure. If a person starts to use drugs or alcohol young, yeah, those ones are more, and cigarettes, people start to smoke or smoking younger. So the earlier exposure you get to it, the more chance you have of becoming addicted to it. And then here are some of the healthier ways of increasing your dopamine levels. So, and they're all pretty standard. Like you eat healthy, eat lots of protein, getting regular exercise, getting enough sleep, getting outside and getting some sunshine, getting some of that vitamin D. We all need that vitamin D. You hear about people suffering from, I can't remember the name of it now, my mind's gone blank. But in the wintertime, people get depressed a lot of times, and it's because they're not getting enough sun. Meditating is a good one, and listening to music. Hopefully not the head banging stuff that sometimes give other people a headache, but listening to music, your kind of music, will help. Some supports for addictions and mental health. Support groups, there's AA, Narcotics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous. Peer support groups, you can set up peer support groups if you or you know of anyone that is suffering or that you know that they're struggling, you can set up a support group and help them out. But an addiction is, like I said, it's an actual affects the brain. So you have to really consciously want to stop what you're doing for it to be able to work. Okay, and we would like you to know that you are not alone. We are here to help. We have 4 counselors in our area, and they're all willing to help. If you have, like I said, if you or someone you know is having some issues or some problems and you'd like to get help, or you'd like to get them some help, by all means give us a call. There's our number, or you can email us at the counseling at Northern Lakes College. So give us a call and we'd like to help. And enter your chance to win an NLC swag bag. The deadline is March the 4th, which is this coming Thursday. And the subject line you put in your email is balance. Okay? Stay vigilant. Keep us informed. If you need help, by all means, contact one of us. We all want to help. We want to help you guys succeed and get one of these swag bags. Okay, thanks for joining. You have a great day too, and enjoy the rest of your week. Okay.